Get ready for big changes to our weather pattern across Central Oregon and really the entire Pacific Northwest. And all of this starts up tomorrow with our next cold front, which starts to bring us some showers. Later in the day, we're talking afternoon and evening before those showers start to push into the high desert. Now, these big changes are due to back systems rolling through the Pacific Northwest, and we're actually have an atmospheric river setup that we're going to be going through. So each day brings even more changes, and even through the next 3 days, we already have minor to moderate impacts through the Cascades, even some major impacts through the Cascades. So let's take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Let's look at what's been happening, what's going to happen, and how these changes are really going to impact us right here in Central Oregon. Starting with Friday at 7 a.m., our cold front will be making landfall, and we don't start to see showers until the afternoon and evening for Central Oregon. But then watch this. We continue to get more systems, so more rain through Friday night. We're not looking at too much in the way of mountain snow. That starts up Saturday, and even more mountain snow is expected Sunday and Monday. And so we have these changes because of this atmospheric river setup. By the time we start getting rain tomorrow, we'll be able to see each one of the next three systems that are going to be impacting us. So we have Friday's cold front, a system Saturday. That low follows the low pressure that we have that's going to be rolling in through the next 24 hours. And then even more precipitation with that cold front and another dip in temperatures on the backside of that Sunday system. And then you can barely see Monday's system too. So a big change up in this weather pattern that's been calm with 60s and 70s. And even today we had 60s. We just had more clouds and winds were mostly at a light breeze. Satellite and radar does show that cloud cover is continuing to push through the Pacific Northwest. But look on the west slopes of the Cascades. You can start to see where the clouds are breaking up. This is indicative of some in and out clouds through tonight for us on the high desert before midnight. After midnight, more clouds in advance of this next cold front. But let's look at the bigger picture, because when it comes to satellite imagery, that helps us see way out over the Pacific Ocean. Pretty much anywhere that satellite orbiting in geosynchronous orbit can see, we can see. And so that's the entire half of the planet. So we're going to use a lot of that here in the next minute or so just to talk about what's been happening. So we have this cold front that's still way offshore. We also have on this graphic pressure. Those white lines are all isobars, and isobars are specifically important because it helps us identify wind trends. And over the high desert, it's been a little breezy at times today. Those isobars are pretty spread apart, so we don't have too much of a gradient, but we have a steep gradient on the isobars going out towards our low pressure, which as of right now is anchored over Anchorage. And so with that low so far out over the Gulf of Alaska and all of these isobars stacked up coming into the Pacific Northwest, we got some gusty winds out there. Now, if we look a little closer, what we can see is just on the outer edge of our ridge of high pressure to the south of all this activity, we have one low that's developing and another one on the backside of our high pressure. And each one of these systems are going to be impacting us on the high desert. And when we time it out, what we're seeing is tonight we catch some of that clearing. By Friday at 7 a.m., our cold front will be making landfall. So we're not seeing rain yet. It's still out towards the coastline. Then by 3 p.m., starting to see some of those showers in the lower elevations of Central Oregon. By this time, we're seeing some pinks in the Cascades, so a little bit of a wintry mix, but don't hold your breath. It's not going to stay like that through the entire event. Through the rest of Friday evening and Friday night, that system rolls through. We catch some rain, get some clearing, and then Saturday's system rolls in quickly. By Saturday at 3 p.m., really through the day Saturday, we're getting mountain snow. And so we're actually expecting this active weather pattern to continue with falling snow levels as each system rolls through. Meanwhile, temperatures in the last 24 hours topped out in the 60s with a few 70s. Right now, we're sitting in the 60s with some 50s. It's just after 6 p.m. on Thursday. That represents change up in the temperatures. We're running between 4 degrees cooler and 5 degrees warmer, so not too far off from where we were yesterday. But by tomorrow, we get a slight dip in temperatures. Now, for tonight, we're falling into the 40s with some 30s. So it's actually going to be chilly, not as cold as it has been. Actually, not bad at all conditions to open up the window as you're sleeping. By the day tomorrow, we're topping out in the 60s. But look at this. Our active weather pattern starts up with this cold front that pushes through on Friday. Highs still in the 60s with a few 50s and 70s out there. Winds are going to get gusty. And with this cold front, we start to see showers showers during the evening hours into the overnight. System number 2 rolls through on Saturday. By Saturday, we're already looking at mountain snow starting up earlier in the day, and then system number 3 rolls in on Sunday. Each system brings its own set of changes. We're going from 60s to 50s and 40s Saturday to 40s Sunday and Monday. And by Monday, even still some flurries left on the map. So between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., we're all getting wet. We have a little bit of mountain snow, a lot of mountain snow in there, but a little bit of snow in our lower elevations. And some of the Cascade passes are looking at a foot of new snow, and at about the same time our next system will still be rolling in. So we have an active system or an active pattern on the way that not only brings us cooling temperatures going from the 60s to the 40s, but also strong winds, mountain snow, and some snow totals in our lower elevations. And we're going to be taking a closer look at some of those snow potential numbers in just a little bit. Let's look at the forecast model again. This one isn't as high resolution as the one I was just showing you. I just wanted to show you some different forecast model runs, and it still shows that this evening our high pressure is still holding in, pushing back against our cold front, but here through tonight that gives way to the incoming cold front. Through Friday, we start off cloudy. By the afternoon and evening, we're starting to get some of these showers into the high desert, but it's still just going to be wet. We get periods of clearing overnight where we dry out a little bit, and then by Saturday, more precipitation. By Saturday night, 8 p.m., we're starting to get some heavier snow through the Cascades where you're starting to see some of those darker blues, but it's not over because Sunday, that next system starts off with mountain snow, and this is when we could actually be looking at snow showers in the lower elevations, not putting too much on the ground until we get to Sunday night, going into Monday, and that's when some light totals are expected for parts of the high desert. So one more forecast model I want to show you. This one's a little drier, but by Sunday at 11 p.m., we have that snow through the Cascades, and it actually shows that by Monday, we're drying out almost completely, give or take a few sprinkles during the evening hours. By Tuesday, we stay mostly dry, just in and out cloud covered. It's going to be like that through the rest of the work week. So the bulk of the precipitation that we're expecting in our lower elevations and across the entire Pacific Northwest happens during the weekend. By Monday, we really start to dry out. When it comes to totals, we're looking at a trace to 4 inches in the lower elevations. Keep in mind that 4-inch line is above about 4,500 feet, or is at about 4,500 feet. So that takes most of the high desert out of significant shovelable snow totals. Some light totals are possible, but in reality, we're going back and forth so much from rain to snow, I'm not expecting much to stick. So between now and 1 p.m. Friday, we're dry. During the afternoon and evening, we get wet. And by Saturday, we start to see that snow accumulating in the highest elevations, and it really just continues through Sunday, through Monday, to the tune of putting 4 to 10 inches in the Cascades, including our passes. 4 to 10 inches of snow. Higher elevations like Diamond Lake Junction, it's a mile high, could actually be looking at 12 plus inches. Right now, winds aren't too strong. Overnight, a light breeze is expected until after midnight. By tomorrow, winds are getting breezy, then gusty as this front starts to push through, but that's not it. Hold on. By Saturday, even stronger winds are expected with system number 2, and Saturday night, we don't calm down too much. So for tonight, we're talking 40s and 30s. A few 20s are going to be possible where we get a little bit more of this clearing, but by Friday, this is when the rain starts to roll through the high desert. Highs in the 60s. At this point, though, we're looking at mid-60s with some outliers, a few 50s and a couple of 70s out there, but Saturday it gets even cooler. By Sunday and Monday, we're topping out in the 40s, lows in the 20s and 30s, and this is when we could be looking at some of the snow showers in our lower elevations, but the passes definitely getting 4 to 12 inches of snow through the entire event. By Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we dry out. We start to see a warming trend. We're back to either side of 60 degrees, closer to average for this time of the year, late in the 7-day planner. So your weather headlines for this Thursday, October the 23rd, include this atmospheric river: rain, gusty winds, and mountain snow, all expected, with a big cool down going from the 60s Friday to the 40s by Sunday and Monday. And just to recap for you, here is a look at current satellite and radar. Our cold front is still way offshore. It really starts to impact us. But hey, we need this rain because we're still abnormally dry through much of the Tri-County area, and a drought through the Cascades, and a severe drought through the I-5 corridor. And so we're talking potentially up to 2 inches of rain through the Cascades Cascades alone, and that is definitely going to help out quite a bit when it comes to the lower elevations, our drought conditions, and what we've been seeing here through the last several months with the dry conditions. This is our first real rainmaker, and it's our first real snowmaker in the Cascades. That's the latest in weather. Join us tonight on Central Oregon Daily News. We will have the latest headlines, your most reliable forecasts, and we're on right now from 6 to 7. CBS will have it from 7 to 8, and then at 11 o'clock on ABC and CBS. Join us. We'll see you then.